Welcome everyone to the Ubuntu Community Q&A session. I'm quite glad you weren't here like 2 minutes ago because we talked about all kinds of crazy stuff back then, but maybe...
yeah, I'm disgusted, frankly, Daniel, I'm disgusted.
Same here, same here. I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of interesting questions. So if you're watching this through ubuntuonair.com, there's this chat widget below the video feed. You just enter your favorite nickname, hit the connect button, and then you can have a chat with us. Make sure you prefix your questions with question in capital letters so we can more easily pick the questions up. We're going to mention the same thing on IRC now as well. Oh yeah, if you use IRC like a regular IRC client, just point it to Ubuntu-community-team on Freenode.
No, Ubuntu-on-air.
That's right. What Alan said, basically.
Yes. I think it tells you that. If you go to Ubuntu on Air, I think there's a thing that tells you what the IRC channel it's joining is. And if you've got a real IRC client, then you can point to #Ubuntu-on-air and join us in there. We're lurking in there. And if you want to ask us any questions, fire away and we'll try and answer them. If they're kind of support type questions like, you know, my NVIDIA card doesn't work, then I'm sorry to hear that, but you'll probably find a better solution to that is to ask in #Ubuntu or go to askubuntu.com. Support questions are better over there.
Absolutely.
Because we're pretty clueless when it comes to support, really. So what else? So do you want to start while we wait for questions to come in? Do you want to mention something you've been working on the last couple of weeks, which is quite cool?
Yes. So I've been working on the Help app recently. The idea was that we wanted to, because we all noticed that when talking to other Ubuntu phone users, that everyone has their favorite app to do something, or somebody discovered a feature that just landed and wasn't announced anywhere. And we wanted to get all of this together into an app where people can very easily find out what's new, where we can translate everything, basically document tips and tricks, questions and answers, that kind of stuff. Now, bring it on the phone, translate it, and also bring it onto Help Ubuntu.com. And with most of the stuff, we're almost there. So what we need now is people who want to, who can help us translating, people who want to maybe add a few questions and answers of their own. Maybe if you have a couple of screenshots you want to add, that can be easily done. And there's still a few things we want to do in the code, like maybe write a few more test cases or fix a couple of bugs or improve something. So if you're happy to write a bit of Python code, or if you're good with HTML and JavaScript, so we can make things a bit prettier, you're welcome to the team. And it's very easy. You can just join Ubuntu-app-devel on IRC. There you can find myself, Daniel Holbach, DHOLBACH on IRC, or DPM or Balloons, one of them. Or basically just mention the Help app, say you want to get involved, and people will.
Everyone will pounce on you.
Exactly. And it's been a really nice experience because basically the tools we found in the beginning, that didn't allow us quite to do what we wanted, but it's quite nice now because we just use Markdown, and we also use Launchpad, which we use basically for everything translation-wise in Ubuntu. One of the great things is that if you just have a random word or a small string of text, it will propose a translation for you if it has been translated somewhere else before. So there's a really nice feature, and I mean we have loads and loads of strings and loads of translations in Ubuntu because of, I don't know, a bazillion packages we ship in Ubuntu. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you have any questions about that, just find me on IRC or drop me an email. That would be really nice. What
Put it
were
up here
you up?
actually. I could just briefly show people so they can see it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen. Oh, that's it. So somewhere here, if I hit share, so hopefully you can see my the window. That's the wrong way. So that's what you see when you first open the Help app. It's just a little bit of text, and there's a menu. The little hamburger icon in the top left-hand corner is a little menu. From there, you can get to not the calculator. You can get to the sections. So we've kind of sectioned off the help into like different areas. So, if you want to learn more about how to use the user interface, that's where you go. If you want to learn about apps and how you install apps and where you get them from, or you want to know about scopes, then you can see exactly where you need to go. So obviously it's not completely fleshed out with loads and loads and loads of data, but and documentation, but if you have something that you've learned and you think it's useful information for other people who are using Ubuntu phone, then by all means propose it, file a bug against the help app in Launchpad, and provide us some content, and we can add it. It's interesting because following on from this, over the last few days, like 5 days or so, people have started receiving boxes that look a bit like this with their Ubuntu phone in, and it's been enlightening for us, because we've been working on this for like 3 years now, and we see people who've not been working on it receiving a box, opening it up, turning the phone on for the first time, and some of their experiences. We're noting things that people are noticing, or things that people think, oh, why does it do this, or I would have expected this to happen, or we had a guy who turned up on IRC yesterday and was clearly having some trouble with various things, even stuff like getting the SIM card out, the SIM tray out, because every phone he'd ever used, you just push the SIM card in through a slot. So there's loads of areas that we can improve the documentation and the whole experience for new users, and we're lucky that I guess in some ways the first round of people buying these things are quite technically minded and maybe somewhat forgiving for deficiencies or flaws or holes or gaps or whatever you want to call them, and are willing to help us fix them, or at least identify them, and then we can document them better and fix them later on down the line. But it was interesting following hash Ubuntu phone on Twitter over the weekend as people were tweeting stuff, and I was seeing people were tweeting photos, a photo of this box, a photo of this cardboard box that it arrived in the post. I saw lots of those being posted online, and what also I found interesting was people taking screenshots of the apps on the phone and posting them online. And one of them that I was quite chuffed to see. One of the first screenshots I saw online was the terminal, and that kind of struck a chord. Like the kind of apps that our current user base are interested in is stuff everything else. Can I open a terminal? And one of the screenshots was a terminal with the guy running Perl in the terminal, and he was like, "Yay! I've got Perl on my phone. Great." Okay, we've won. We've arrived. So yeah, I just wanted to say, it's been really great to see all that feedback, and we do look out for all the feedback for everyone, and obviously you can get in touch with us directly. You know where we are. That's all I want to say. Yeah. I haven't actually taken mine out of the box yet. Mine's still in there. It's still in the box.
You haven't taken it out yet?
No. I will at some point. But,
okay.
Anyway, over to you.
Yeah, my brother also received his phone, and he also shared it on Facebook and wherever else. Like he was super happy with it. But just a couple of small things. Like he was really surprised that Bluetooth worked quite well. Like he didn't expect that to work for whatever reason. Also showed him like stuff like machines versus machines, or the feedback app. Like install the feedback app. If you have feedback, it's a really good way of sharing it. Yeah, great. It's just brilliant to see people actually using it and receiving the phones. We also, I just saw this on Facebook earlier. If you want to get a free phone, that can probably be arranged as well. Did you see the announcement anywhere else? Was it on Twitter too and on Google Plus?
Which announcement was this? The origami one?
Yep.
Yes, I saw it on Google Plus, but
Brilliant.
it was pointing people to Instagram. That's right, isn't it?
Might be, yeah. So whatever. I mean, people have to send their pictures somewhere.
Right.
So I think the deal is that you have to build a origami unicorn and set the pictures over, and if everyone likes them, like you get an Ubuntu phone for free. That's the deal. Like there might be more involved. Just have a look at the usual social media channels.
Yep. Cool.
Brilliant.
Anything else we need to mention?
Just briefly, if you are a part of any Ubuntu team or group, or you need to do some planning, like everyone's going to do their planning pretty soon. That's just in 5 weeks, I think. 5th to 7th May is the next Ubuntu Online Summit. That's basically where we all get together, have 1 hour long sessions to discuss upcoming features, general work that needs to be done, but also community stuff like events we want to do, materials we want to organize. So that's all going to happen from the 5th to the 7th of May. This time we want to get the schedule set up much earlier than in the previous time. So talk to your team, figure out what you need to discuss, what you want to plan for the upcoming cycle, and get that in early. We're going to announce where to send sessions very soon. And the usual, we're here to make Jose happy. So if you want to make him happy as well, just make sure you subscribe and follow and circle everything that has to do with Ubuntu on Air. That way you find out which sessions are coming next, which shows we have, and you can see all the old videos as well. And I think that's all I had. I think we also have a lot of questions already.
Oh, good.
Okay.
While you were talking, I took my phone out of the box, just so you can see. I have the phone out of the box now. Finally, I'll turn it on later.
This could have been an unboxing video or something.
Nah, the internet's got hundreds of those. You don't need another one. Right, let's dive into the questions then.
First one. The first one is from Rowing Golfer. What is the best laptop shipped in the UK with Ubuntu pre-installed?
Define best. Yeah, I don't think there are many. There are, small boutique companies that sell them. A lot of them are companies that will take devices manufactured by companies like Clevo and then stick an Ubuntu install on and put it on their store. And there's a few of those around. It's been difficult getting hold of like the top 5 brand name like Dell, HP, Acer, Lenovo I know in the UK. I am led to believe that soon the new Dell XPS will be available with an Ubuntu flavor very soon, like within the next few months. But right now, I don't know. I'm having this dilemma myself. I'm looking for a new laptop, and it's very difficult to find one that comes with Ubuntu pre-installed. So yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah, basically same thing here. Same thing here in Germany. I've been looking for a new laptop for quite a while now, and I think I'm getting to the point where I replaced almost every single part of my Lenovo X220.
Same here.
it's still working. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Last thing I fixed was the power jack. That's working again. But yeah, if you're watching from and you're working for one of the big companies, you do laptops. Ubuntu options will be fantastic.
So
Um,
I've seen some really nice ones. Like my friend Laura has a ThinkPad X1 Carbon, the new one,
mhm.
because they went through a phase of putting stupid keyboards on the Lenovo laptops, and they've gone back to putting sensible keyboards that have a touch point joystick thing in the middle. Um, so they look quite nice. But yeah, I'm kind of probably waiting for that Dell. Oh, there's an Asus as well, Ultrabook, that looks quite nice, but again, doesn't ship with Ubuntu out of the box. So yeah, it's frustrating. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it looks like most of the manufacturers, they seem to believe that other markets, other regions might work better for shipping Ubuntu, because Ubuntu is shipped on crazy amounts of laptops and servers and desktops in other parts of the world. Like Dell has 1,000,000,002 shops in China and India, and now new shops in somewhere South America. Um, yeah,
Yep.
but there's also the option, like if your main point is that you don't want to pay for an operating system you don't use, there's sometimes the option that you get a laptop with FreeDOS on it or another Linux version, so maybe that works as well.
Yeah, I know. With Dell, if you phone them up, they will often allow you to modify the order. If you go through the online store, often it
Hmm.
will only allow you to have the Windows options. But if you phone them up and say I would like a laptop and I want it with FreeDOS or whatever, and say I've already got a license for the operating system I'm using, basically it's none of their business what operating system you want to put on your laptop.
Yeah,
But if you tell them you've already got a license for it, then if you want a FreeDOS installed one, then you could well get one.
that's
It's
one.
worth trying.
Good idea.
Okay, what's next?
Moving on. Dun, 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 dun. Question for Ellen.
Uh-oh.
Will music application get folder browsing? I need it badly. Got my BQ device today. Was a question from Jack Harper. Folder
Folder
browsing.
browsing. So the music app on Ubuntu uses Media Scanner. So Media Scanner finds media on your device and then builds a database of all the media on your device, which includes music files and video files as well. And then you just open the media app, the music app, and the music app talks to Media Scanner and gets a list of all the content, and then you can just play it. I'm not quite sure why you need folder support. I've had lengthy arguments with other people about whether we should have folder support in apps like this. Chances are we won't do it, because that's the whole point of Media Scanner, is it goes and does that work for you. You don't have to go and tell it, find this file. Um, if there's a rational, sane argument why we should have it, then maybe we could. But I can't yet see a good argument for it. Media Scanner already scans. So the nice thing about the BQ phone is it has an SD slot in the top, so you can fill. I've got a 32 gig in mine. I think Olgra's got a 64 or 128 gig SD card, something ridiculously huge. And he puts all his media, like all of his music, all his like German music or whatever it is, on his on his SD card, and the music app finds it.
Right.
So all you got to do is just put the music in one of two places: the music directory on the phone or the music directory on the SD card, and it will all be found.
I can see the argument being made for folder support. Like it really depends what your pattern for listening to music. If you're interested in a couple of a couple of bands, and you buy their albums and you always listen to those albums, and the usual way of okay, artist, album, like that kind of structure that makes a lot of sense, or that you look at the logos of the CDs, that makes
Right.
sense. But if you're like just interested in, let's say, hip hop music, you listen to random stuff that's old hip hop, new hip hop, or just throw that all that stuff in,
Right.
like pre-categorize everything in folders, then it
So
makes sense.
so there's three things there, right? One is playlist support we have. So you could create a playlist and just put your new albums in that playlist and like call it favorites or new or something like that. And then you just play that playlist and it will only play those songs, right? The other option is the music app supports genres. So long as the metadata, the ID3 tags in your music are set correctly, then you just go to the menu and choose genres and hit hip hop, and you'll get hip hop.
Right.
So we cover those particular use cases pretty well. If the metadata is, if you haven't got some torrented album that's got rubbish metadata, if you've got well curated metadata, then it should work fairly well.
Single tracks that just belong to some genre. Like for me, I'm one of those people. Like I'm talking about the folder support.
Sure, and we have this conversation quite a lot, and we ponder whether it's a good idea to add or not. But I'm still not convinced. I mean, I think we could flesh out the playlist support, for example. And something we have talked about is where we could have dynamic playlists which show new music. So you could have a playlist called new music, and anything that's arrived on the phone, recently within the last week or something, that goes straight into that playlist. So anything you've just bought or just put on the phone goes in there. You could have one for favorites where you've specifically marked, or you could have ones that are tracks you've listened to most often, or you could have a playlist for the opposite, which is tracks you always skip over. The ones that you usually miss out on. Maybe you want to go back and listen to some of those. I don't know.
Yes.
But that's all stuff we could potentially do. And the next thing is obvious. If you're interested in helping with that, the music app is free software, and it's all hosted on Launchpad. And Victor and Andrew, the main developers of the music app, are lovely people, and are certainly open to discussion on new features. It's not a closed app in any way.
Yeah.
And the other option is, if you don't like it, fork it. Create your own music app, and stick your own music app on your device, and use it the way you want to use it. It's, free software.
Yeah, playlist makes a lot of sense. Maybe that's an option there, because I usually find all the metadata tagging app, like I never really liked any of those, so I always just folder, dump all the stuff in there, and be done. But playlist, like just pick the last 50 songs you added and just stuff them on.
Yeah, I think for the metadata, you have to kind of spend, if you've got a large music collection, you have to spend a weekend and just sit there and listen to your music and make sure the tags are up to date, and then don't touch it again, and then copy it to your device, and you're done. And it's actually a surprisingly therapeutic thing to do, is to sit and get all your ID3. Maybe I'm weird, I don't know. But
No. I think that makes perfect sense.
Cool. Should we move on?
Question. Just Caracas asked, any updates on the MX4? People are busy working on it, making everything work.
Yes, it's underway. It's on the way. We don't have a date. We don't have any idea of how it will be sold, where it will be sold, how much it will be, the specs. We have no information at all. And when that time comes, we will, obviously.
Yeah, I think the answer is weeks.
Is it really?
Weeks from now? No?
What, 52 weeks from now?
No. Weeks, not months. Like.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I honestly just don't know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they do exist.
They do. Okay, next one. Nothing Much asks, when will drivers support Xmail for Xorg apps such as Theme? I think NVIDIA announced support for Mail.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
No, sorry.
You could probably ask on the, what's it called again? The
Ubuntu
Mir.
Mir.
Yeah. Right. Okay, next
I
one.
think it's it's that perennial thing of chicken and egg. If there's nobody shipping Mir on a device, why should we bother making drivers? And we can't ship Mir on a device because there are no drivers. That kind of thing is going to stump things. But I know we are in conversation with all the relevant people, and the right people are talking to the right people. So I'm confident it'll be fine.
Yeah.
No idea when that will be, though.
Question from Christbaum. Is there an IMAP capable client now on Ubuntu phone?
Yes. So under development, we have a mail app called Deco, Dekko. So if you've got an Ubuntu phone, you search in the store for Deco. The code is on Launchpad, launchpad.net/Deco, and that's maintained by two people, Dan and Boren. It's a fork of Trojita, which is a cute email client, and it's available in the store. It's packaged as a click app, and it's really rather nice. It's not completely finished. It's got a few rough edges, and it's under active development. And if you're interested in getting involved in that, then by all means join the Deco IRC channel, #Deco, Dekko. Dan and Boren are absolutely lovely, and they're working really, really hard on the app. But as you can imagine, email is a big nut to crack, and they're doing a really good job. But they could certainly do with more contributions. So if you want to help out, then by all means join them.
It's really, really beautiful.
It's amazing how well they've done over the last year. It's really, really well done. It's really nice.
And always
they've had some design input, but they've had a bit of design input, and they've been following those design guidelines. It's really good.
Yeah, like whenever I look at it, like I look at a new thing, like I just noticed, you can, I don't know if you can see this, but you can very easily import other types of accounts. Like I've never seen this before.
Right. Yeah, we added a wizard to make it to make it easier to add the most commonly used web email providers like Yahoo and Outlook and those kind of things.
Beautiful. Yeah, if you have a look at the app, there are two versions of it. One is the dev version where you get the newest updates. I've both installed. Brilliant.
I think the old one is actually removed from the store. I think the only one that's in the store now. So oh no, they both show up in the App Store. So yeah, we should get Dan to remove the old one because it's really old and crusty. The new one, it's called Deco Beta. So install that one. It's really nice.
Okay. All right. So
4 out of 5 stars in the store. So it must be good.
The best asked. Where are you guys from?
So I live in Farnborough in the UK, which is famous for pretty much nothing, other than it has a big air show every few years, and it's really, really noisy, and loads of big planes go overhead, and that's basically all Farnborough is famous for, and that's where I live.
And that's where you're from as well?
Yeah, not far away, like 40 miles away, but yeah, pretty much. Lived here all my life.
Right.
Man and boy. Where are you from? You're from the forest somewhere, aren't you?
Roughly, yes. So right now I live for the last 10 years I've lived in Berlin, in Germany, but I was born and raised in Trier, which is the oldest city in Germany. A bunch of Roman hippies were hanging out there 2,000 years ago. And it's nice. It's nice for tourists, but I prefer to live somewhere else. So yeah, and that's close to. It's quite interesting. It's close to France and Luxembourg. So I basically grew up close to where Seb is from, and that's probably why we get on well. Like Sébastien Bachet, like he's French on the other side of the border. Yeah. Next question. Just Caracas asked, is the help app in HTML? If so, how do you do the header? I can't find any documentation for it. The developer Ubuntu Com site still talks about 14.10 in dev instead of 15.04. Okay, I think that's a couple of questions rolled into one. So yeah, a few bits are actual HTML, but the vast majority of the content is just Markdown. So we use Markdown, have a template defined somewhere, and in that template we use the Ubuntu HTML5 UI toolkit. So that's where we get the header from. There is documentation available if you go to, I think it's developer ubuntu.com/apps/html5, or just search for HTML5 on the site. And it's also going to point you to the Ubuntu SDK tutorials. That's a branch with a bunch of examples, so you can just have a look and see how it's done there. And what's really nice is, like when we released Utopic, the HTML5 team, they had lots of stuff to coordinate. They were also taking care of Oxide, the browser engine. That's why the new header didn't land in Utopic yet, but it's in Vivid. And as soon as we change over to Vivid, the new header is going to be there as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Finally caught up. And about the framework, if there's still documentation mentioning, oh no, Alan, do you know which framework app developers should target right now? It's still 14.10, right? Because 15.04
still 14.10. Because the RTM image that's on these devices is 14.10 based. So yes, if you specify 14.10 as a framework, it will install on those and subsequent devices.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Can you use something like Angular on top of the Ubuntu UI framework? I must admit I don't know. Like, I could imagine that you can very easily mix and match all kinds of JavaScript APIs, but I don't know if there's anything specific stopping you from using Angular. Maybe we should bring on, that's something we talked about the last time. We should bring on David Barth and Alex Abroy. They can surely answer that kind of question. Another one from Just Caracats. Can you do in-app downloads in HTML5 apps? I don't know if we wrapped around the Ubuntu Download Manager APIs. I'm going to give David and Alex a quick ping to find out.
Okay.
Do you want to take one of the next questions in the meantime?
Yep. If I can find it. What timestamp was that last one?
11.
So, guest asks, question, ECC GPG modern on Ubuntu when? Is versioning hell to build it manually from source right now? Oh, really? That's news to me. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure I fully understand that question, but I think the right people to ask would be in hash ubuntu-touch. I assume you're talking about building Ubuntu Touch for other devices, maybe. I think. And if so, then probably someone like Riccardo Salvetti or Yanni or Ogra in Ubuntu Touch will probably be able to answer your question. I don't know much about that, I'm afraid.
Me either. I don't know. I don't even know what ECC or GPG modern is.
Indeed.
Like GPG modern, is it just a new version of GPG or? Okay.
I don't know.
We're in the realms of speculation right now.
So the next question is from McVries. You guys should have pronounceable nicknames.
Yes.
So the question is, what's the roadmap for putting Ubuntu and Ubuntu Phone under the attention of new users? That's a good question. So right now we have a roadmap of a few devices one for Europe, one for Asia, and one for America that will come soon. There may be other devices coming as well. I don't work on the marketing side, so I don't know, how you. I don't know what their plan is for, targeting specific user types or getting things in different retail channels to target, very new green users. And I'm not sure that's something they would reveal if I did know. If I did ask them, I'm not sure that's something that they would give me a straight answer to give you. Because some of that is based on, commercial conversations with partners who are, keen to keep those kind of marketing plans secret. So, we continue to make the software and we work with people who are making the hardware, and it's mostly up to them how they sell and market their devices. I mean, we co-market with them, but it's up to them, really. Sorry, that was a really vague and hand-wavy answer. It wasn't really an answer. Sorry.
I mean, it's all a question of risk. Like, in the beginning, you don't know how people are going to react. Like BQ were the very, very first to ship an Ubuntu phone, so you have to figure that out as well.
Right. So, and that's why we have these flash sales. Partly, I'm sure there's some marketing expert somewhere who knows the value of these flash sales, but at least in part, it's to gauge the consumer response. Will they actually buy this thing? Will there be a significant enough number of customers that makes it worthwhile investing time and effort in manufacturing these devices and all the work that goes with that, the porting as well as the manufacturing and marketing and so on. And clearly BQ think that is the case. Otherwise they wouldn't have had a whole bunch of flash sales, and we're having ongoing conversations with BQ as time goes on. So I think it was it's somewhat perplexing to some that we did the flash sales. I can understand that. Why don't you just put the phones in a shop somewhere? Why don't you just have a fully open online store? And we know we've got a new proposition coming to the market. It's very difficult to sell that to normal people. The kinds of people who are sitting watching this, most of them I would consider are probably like us, quite technically minded. Whereas, if my mum walked into a shop and, she bought this new product that was just sat there and, it looked quite good, so she bought it and took it home and found it didn't do what she needed, didn't have the features she needed, or couldn't fulfill one of the, the criteria that she wanted, then she would be upset. She might take it back to the shop, or she might go online and complain, or she might tell her friends that it's a terrible device, So you have to be quite careful about how you bring this new platform to the market. It's very different from just making an ISO image of Ubuntu available, because you can download that and either choose to download it and choose to use it or not. But if you're spending money on something, that changes the game slightly. And so it has to be a worthwhile investment for you and for the company selling it. So, yeah, I can see the frustration in that, but it's I think it's worthwhile, because then we're more likely to get people buying the device who actually want the device, rather than people who get upset and find they don't want it. Again, another rambly hand wavy.
No. I think that was perfectly fine, because I think you explained quite well what were the driving factors or the motivation behind that decision. And I think as time goes on, we're going to see if banking on convergence and having this set of interface families, that kind of stuff, like having all of this working, and it actually makes sense. Or if you would just separate laptop, desktop, phone, we're going to find out. And
right.
I also found out about the HTML5 questions. So
good.
you can use Angular and whatever other JavaScript framework you want to use. It's also something the web apps team, the HTML5 team, they found out when they did research that a lot of web developers, they know quite well which framework they want to use, and forcing something on them wouldn't work. Like, you want web developers to be quite free in what they choose and in how they implement something, so you can do just whatever you like. Regarding the in-app downloads, there's a JavaScript API binding to the Ubuntu Download Manager, so you can just use what folks use when they write the app in QML. So it's the same thing.
Excellent.
Right.
So the next question is from Dragon7777, and his question is Linux 4.0 going to be in Ubuntu 15.04? I think we're shipping with 3.19, aren't we?
Yeah, I just checked it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking my own machine here. That's running. Yeah, it's 3.19.
Yeah, as far as I know, 4.0 is still on RC something, and given that we're going to release in just about 2 or 3 weeks, I don't think that's going to make sense. Like, we want something that has been tested for a while. So 4.x is something for the LTS release. Sorry, 15.10. Wasn't getting ahead of myself. Never mind.
We're having an LTS. Okay. So Zyga asks, are the white phones going to be available? That is a question for BQ. I don't know. And they are the decision makers in what hardware they sell, so you'd have to ask them. But yeah, what do you think? Do you prefer the white or the black?
I think for me it would be the black.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. The Best asks, how's the progress of the desktop UI of Unity 8 Ubuntu in terms of design? I'm interested in how the design team will integrate the scopes in the desktop UI. So am I. I think we all are. I think there's a lot of things that, you know, the design team came up with this phone and tablet UI, and then it's like, you know what, this needs to converge at some point soon. Mm-hmm. What's it going to look like? And I know that they're actively working on that right now. I don't have an answer for you, but I know that the designers and the Unity and the Mir people are all working on, you know, how this maps to like all of the possible form factors, be it phone, tablet, TV, laptop, desktop, you know, big screen, out, whatever.
Right, but I think something we can do would be to invite Will and Seb again, because I mean,
we do it every other week. We should invite Will.
Yeah, let's do it. Because they both work in the desktop team, and they're the people who know what the feedback from users is like. Like, they read bug reports, they know which use cases are super important. So they will have an agenda, like a clear-cut roadmap, which use cases are most important, what's going to happen next, which bugs are going to be fixed. And I mean, they have a tough job. Like, they need to take what up until now works very, very well on the phone, take it to the desktop, and then see what breaks along the way, and then make sure to fix it with a lot of teams who are all very busy looking at the phone and the desktop and everything else. But that's going to be, like, from them, I think we're going to get the best answer in this case.
Mm.
I mean, if it's not about design, like, obviously designers, they're going to have a bunch of other answers.
Okay. Next question. Just crackers. Is there a way to view PowerPoints without making your system writable? So right now we don't have a good Office viewer on the phone. We're doing some research into how we can fix that, but we don't currently have one. So the short answer is no. We don't have an Office viewer for PowerPoints. The 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 horrible answer you didn't want is convert it into a PDF and use a PDF viewer. But yeah, I know that's not the right answer that you really want. If someone emails you a PowerPoint and you want to be able to open it, right now we don't have that. She's welcome. Question from Alan Bell. Hello, Alan. He says, can you explain the thinking behind themes on Ubuntu Touch Platform? They seem to be fixed at version 0.1 of Ambience, but applications can have their own theme, which is kind of not what I thought themes were about. Good question. I don't know, actually.
Yeah, me neither. It would be a question for Jumbo and Sultan. Now, I think I remember they were talking about something in the works, and this potential of very much being of interest for carriers and manufacturers, so they can beam the devices and everything. But I don't quite know. It's just what I remember. They were working on it, or it was almost ready, or something. I don't know.
Okay, don't know. Best person to ask is Zombo or Zoltan, and Alan. I can point you in their direction. Okay, next question. There's Just Caracas. I can't see any before that. There's Just Caracas. Can't you turn? So we're going back to the question of music and folders. He says, can you turn folders into playlists auto-magically? No, but that might be interesting. We should also look at supporting playlists like M3. Is it M3Ls or MPSs or MPLs or whatever the playlist file format is? I think that's blocked on playlist support landing in Media Hub, I believe. Once that lands, we're golden, and we can add playlist support, which would mean that we can have a playlist file in a folder, and then you can just play that potentially. Okay. Next question. Ducky Woo says, phones are nice, but what about tablets and 2-in-1? Can I install Ubuntu Next on an Acer Aspire Switch 11 2-in-1? I don't know which specific model that is, but I know the one that Will demonstrated. There's a video on YouTube that Will Cook made, and I'm pretty sure the device is an Acer 2-in-1 device, and I believe there is an image for that, and I think it was just installed off a USB stick, but it's not finished. It's only a prototype. It's not usable as a day-to-day desktop machine, as I understand it. So a lot of the stuff that Will demoed in his video, like windowing mode and having Xmirror in there, that stuff's not finished yet. So while it may work, it's more of a prototype and a proof of concept and a demo than an actual usable day-to-day machine.
Yeah, if you want to hack on it or test it, that might be a good solution, but not if you want to rely on it.
Right. We've got 10 minutes left and probably 1,000 questions. So Akiva says, any news on the North American solution? I don't want to buy a Nexus, and the current 2 phones don't have the bands needed here. Yeah, I saw an article on OMG Ubuntu where Joey had spoken to Christian Perino, who told him we're hoping to have an announcement in June. So that's the current state for a device in North America. Ducky Woo says, why no love for x86? There are many apps that are not even visible on x86 from Ubuntu Store. Can we have some more fat packages? Yes, there's a couple of good reasons for that. And one is the SDK currently doesn't support creation of fat packages. So a fat package is a package that contains binary components that work on multiple architectures, or multiple architectures is easy to say. So HF and 32-bit Intel and 64-bit Intel. It would be good if you could put all 3 of those in one package and stick that in the store, but unfortunately the SDK doesn't support it very well yet. Right.
Yeah, you can fiddle around a bit by hand. Then it's possible. Basically, you need to install all the files into separate folders, but the SDK is not going to do it automatically for you
Right.
just yet. I just took a note. I'm going to get somebody to blog about the general workflow, so we can encourage more people to do that, because it is.
Well, Nick wrote a blog post which details how you do it,
Hmm.
because he hacked together a fat package for File Manager. I think I think it was File Manager, but one of the Click apps that is a binary and is only ARM-HF in the store, and I think it was File Manager. So
Okay.
he has a blog post that details how you do that.
There you go.
But it's horrible. It's a hacky mess, but it can be done. Ducky Woo then asks, why is it taking so long to fix critical bugs? There's one bug that if you boot with systemd, you can't install developer proposed image, but if you boot with Upstart, you can. It's opened a month ago. How crazy is it? A month is not that long.
Hang on. Like systemd and develop proposed image. We don't use systemd on the phone. Like we're still stuck with the 3.4 kernel on there, so systemd isn't going to
Well,
work there.
yeah, and systemd is only going to be used for system session and not user session at the moment. So yeah,
So that's
probably
some really hard work. So that's why it's taking so long.
right. Probably, I mean, for systemd on RT on 1410, it'll be a won't fix, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Akiva asks, can Poppy grow a mustache for the next video?
no, he can't. Next question.
Alan Bell, why has the API in Cookbook gone from the web apps guide? Something developer Ubuntu.com. Surely that is the documentation for stuff that is released in LTS. I'm not quite sure what kind of web apps guide.
So there was documentation on developer.ubuntu.com for the Unity web apps, the stuff that's in Unity 7.
Okay.
And it looks like it's disappeared as part of the developer.ubuntu.com reorganization.
Sorry, yeah. I'm going to ping the Unity team again because I just organized access for them to the Unity Ubuntu Com site. I think that would be a much better place for that kind of documentation. I'll to-do item, yeah. Alan Bell asked, are there any plans to market to business users? I think this goes back to the question about marketing to phone to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would speculate just the same as we did earlier.
Well, I think once there's gonna so whenever you ask someone what do you need out of a phone, you get 10 different answers from 5 people, and you get 1,000 different answers from 10,000 people. And they're all different. For home users, there's one use case. For business users, for rugged industrial users, there's another. For medical users, there's another. There's every kind of use case. And right now, we're at the point where 4 days ago, the very first phones shipped out the factory to customers. So I'm sure there will be, but I think we probably haven't covered enough of the use cases in the core applications yet, and the core functionality, like being able to interface to common office products might be a significant use case for business users. Being able to interface to medical equipment, be for another industry, or being ruggedized for another. So I think step by step is my answer. And right now we're not at the point where we could. I don't think we're not at the point where we could go to a business and have this as a proposition for them to replace all their phones with Ubuntu phones. It's just too early. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
Cool.
Sorry, I was just looking at the bug reports that Alan just sent in about the Unity website.
Cool. Akiva asks, ever since I switched to systemd with Ubuntu, my battery life has gone way, way, way improved. Does this make sense? Have you noticed this too? No, because my laptop sits in a docking station all day, every day, so I don't notice things like battery life. I almost never unplug it from the docking station, so I wouldn't know either way.
Yeah, I undock it, but I haven't noticed any significant improvement, and it would actually surprise me. Um,
Okay. Um, when will Ubuntu? This is from Zek or XEK. When will Ubuntu phone support the 802 EAP authentication for Wi-Fi? I'm unable to connect at work. Yeah, this is frustrating. There's a long-standing bug with this. As I understand it, there's two parts to this. There's the underlying network manager stuff, which I believe is pretty much done because that works on the desktop and it's the same network manager on the desktop as it is on the phone. But there's UI bits that aren't done. So we need to hook up all those bits to have the dialogue that lets you choose your certificate and the dialogue that lets you put in your username and password and all that kind of stuff. This is becoming higher priority because more people now have the phones in their hands, and we're now getting more heat on the bugs that show, that kind of problem. So I don't know when, but I will ask. Any more questions? Oh, there's one more. Otmaro says, are you planning to improve the Ubuntu Store interface? I think it needs improvement. So, it depends whether you're talking about the phone or the web-based interface. The phone interface is the app scope, and yeah, we're always looking to improve, the store scope. Sorry, and I suspect now that we're getting an influx of more applications and more diverse applications, I suspect we will need to start tweaking the way that applications are presented in the store. So things like pushing poorly rated apps down to the bottom and bubbling up, high quality applications, or surfacing new applications, or surfacing applications that are downloaded by a high number of users. One of the problems up until now is we've had such a small number of users because we haven't had a phone for sale. There's no meaningful data about, what is a good app and what is a bad app. You've got something like Telegram, which is great and has very high, number of stars, partly because it's featured and has been for a few weeks at the top of the store, and it comes pre-installed on the phone. But other apps which are really quite good as well don't feature. So yeah, it needs some work, and that's part design, part code.
Yeah, I mean, even that would be a big way you could help out if you look at the Unity Scope Click package, the code for it, or what's his name again? Something Douglas, who did the unofficial.
Brian Douglas, BH
Right.
Douglas.
Right. Yeah, if you search on the internet, you're going to find his unofficial store for Ubuntu Touch for the Click store. And the code is up on GitHub, so you can have a look and see how it's done. He's basically querying the click package index, so you could do something similar or fork it, and then come up with a clever algorithm to just show the very best and propose that. Like, I'm sure we can bring on Martin Alvisetti one of the next times if you're into, that kind of algorithms. Let him know. I'm sure he's going to appreciate your insights.
Absolutely. That last question? I think it is. Oh, there's one more question from Dave. Hello, Dave. He says, do you have plans to release in India, and if so, how do you plan to do it? I don't know right now. So the current plans is Europe, Asia, and in the not too distant future, North America. I don't know about India at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Pass.
Right, and then there's a lot of more speculation what the next release might be called. You have a favorite?
Wobbly Windows? Is it W after? Where are we? V. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one will be Wobbly Windows or something like that.
Working Windows. I can't Yeah, I was looking for the wiki page, but I couldn't find it. Like, I think there's something about animal names. So if you want to find all the animals with W, all the adjectives, we have them all listed already.
So we've already done W, haven't we? We've had a Warty Warthog was the very
That's
first
right.
release.
That's right. It was like 10 years ago. No, 11 almost.
Yeah, wow. So, actually, yeah, that'll be the 11 years since Warty Warthog. Well, who knows? That'll get announced probably, I don't know, when's the release? 20-something, 23rd of April, isn't it? So the next animal will be announced probably, the next day, I guess, when Mark blogs about it. Has one of his very thoughtful blog posts about animals and meaning, and yeah,
Love those.
look forward to that. Yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of us will get on with making phones and phone software.
Exactly.
But we'll be back next week. Probably Mike and not Nick. I would think Mike and David probably.
Yeah, Mike and Dave, and they're very likely to go to have the Ubuntu folks on.
Oh,
So
excellent.
stay tuned for a demo of what's new in the next Ubuntu release and get all your questions in.
Excellent.
I had a great time.
So did I, as always.
Thanks a lot, everyone, and see you in 2 weeks. I guess.
Cheerio.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.